Welcome back, dear romantics and pop culture confidants, to the corner of the internet where stardust meets sincerity. You're tuned into Turkish series Stars, the space where we chase the sparkle but always listen for the heartbeat beneath it. If you've been craving stories that pull back the velvet curtain and reveal what fame looks like when the cameras pause and the voices soften, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series Stars. Tap that join button if you want to be part of our inner circle, and leave your thoughts below. This community grows stronger when your voice is part of the chorus. Tonight's tale unfurled not on a film set, but on a red carpet that felt more like a diary, opened by surprise. The event was the glittering premiere of Cemre Arda's latest film, a night meant to celebrate her artistic grit and star power. Yet what no one expected was to witness a wave of emotion so pure that the sound of shutters and the rush of publicists faded like the end credits of a great movie. Cemre arrived radiant, yes, but there was a softness around her edges, a calm confidence that suggested something sacred had recently touched her life. You could read it in the way she moved, as if carrying a secret that warmed her from the inside out. And somewhere just beyond those lights stood the reason, Gökberk Yildirim. Journalists lined the carpet in a bright corridor of curiosity. The questions, at first, were routine, and Cemre handled them with her familiar poise. Then someone asked about her birthday, the one she had celebrated just days earlier, and the atmosphere shifted. The careful pauses of a media-trained star gave way to the quiet honesty of a woman remembering. She inhaled to steady herself, and when she spoke of Gökberk, her words sounded like they had been chosen from the most tender pages of a private book. She called him attentive. She called him gentle. Simple words, but delivered with a weight that suggested 1,000 unspoken moments. The glimmer in her eyes said even more. She felt known, not as an image on a poster, but as a person with victories, fears, and a story that someone had studied with love. Let's take a breath together, Turkish series Stars family. When was the last time someone didn't just buy you a present, but truly recognized who you are? The kind of gesture that makes your pulse slow and your guard fall? We talk a lot about grand romantic moves in our world, but the truth is, the specific gestures, the details that say I see you, are the ones that undo us completely. If you've ever been surprised in a way that felt like a mirror for your soul, tell us in the comments. We read everything. Your stories remind us that love isn't reserved for the famous, it's an art form anyone can practice. Back to the gala, where Cemre began painting her memory with soft brushstrokes. What Gökberk planned wasn't merely a party, it was a journey through time, hand-stitched with care. She described walking into a room transformed into a map of her life. Old family albums that had lived quietly on shelves were placed under warm light. Candid snapshots, blurry, imperfect, honest, were arranged like constellations, each one a star marking a moment only a few people would recognize. The soundtrack of the evening wasn't a playlist curated for effect, but the melodies she's carried with her for years, the songs that have consoled her after hard days and fueled her on hopeful ones. Cemre kept returning to one point, the precision. He noticed the tiniest threads others might overlook. He saw what mattered because he'd been paying attention all along. In a world where millions watch you but very few truly observe, that kind of care is priceless. As her words floated into the room, the familiar hum of speculation began to rise. No high-profile love story avoids the question. You could feel it coming, like a drumbeat gathering speed, marriage. Someone finally asked what everyone else was thinking. Was the birthday surprise also a proposal? The cameras zoomed in to catch her reaction, and what they captured was the kind of answer that lives between sentences. Cemre didn't confirm, and she didn't deny. She smiled in a way that made the crowd lean forward, dipped her head, and let a quiet laugh say what official statements never will. Let's keep that just between us for now, she murmured, and the entire venue caught fire with guesses. It was a masterstroke of boundary and warmth, the rare moment when a public figure lets you see the glow without exposing the flame. Behind the curtain of romance, there was an even deeper theme, partnership. Cemre talked about the grind of their profession, the relentless schedules, the physical fatigue, the heavy headspace of carrying characters home after long days. And there, in that daily storm, she named Gökberk as her shelter. "There are times," she said, "when the most powerful words aren't grand speeches, but a simple promise, I'm here." During the marathon of the film's production, he showed up in 100 quiet ways, bringing calm when the pressure spiked, guarding her rest when the world demanded more, reminding her that she's more than what a day's work says about her. That kind of steady is not glamorous, but it is rare. And it's the kind of love that lasts. The internet responded instantly. Clips of Cemre's bright eyes, damp with happy restraint, began circling on every platform. Comments poured in from fans who felt the sincerity through their screens. You could see phrases repeating, "You can't fake that glow, she looks at peace, this is what being cherished looks like." It wasn't just gossip, it felt like a communal exhale. In an era where everything is polished to a mirror shine, watching a star try not to cry because she feels thoroughly loved is grounding. It makes her feel close, not because we know her secrets, but because we understand the feeling. Now, about the architect of that unforgettable night. What we've heard from circles near the couple paints a picture of meticulous devotion. Apparently, Gökberk spent weeks assembling details, calling friends from different chapters of Cemre's life, gently asking her family to send long-forgotten photographs, double-checking the specific version of a song she prefers, even matching the scent in the room to one she associates with childhood summers. He didn't outsource the heart of the task. He was curator, collaborator, and co-writer of her memory. He's said to have confided to a friend that planning moments like this helps him get to know her again and again, as if love is not a finished book but a series of new editions. It's the kind of sentiment that makes you believe in chapters yet to be written. Of course, speculation about what comes next is inevitable. Maybe there was a ring hidden in that evening, maybe not. Perhaps their promise is already quietly made, folded into a shared understanding beyond spectacle. What matters is the energy they emanate, two people building something steady, not for the cameras, but for the days that no one sees. And if you ask us whether we're on the verge of a headline-making wedding, the honest answer is that we feel the tide pulling that way. But whether or not the announcement arrives tomorrow, the story they're telling right now is already powerful enough. Let's talk about the craft of partnership one more layer deep, because Cemre did. She opened up about how their routine looks when the world isn't watching. Small rituals, she said, keep them stitched together, short walks without phones, late-night tea even when mornings come too early, notes tucked into scripts or slipped into bags before shoot days. We've heard that he sometimes drives her to set quietly, just so she can have a few minutes of steady breath before the day rushes in, and that she, in turn, is his fiercest encourager when work gets heavy. It's the reciprocity that stands out. This is not about one grand romantic act, but a pattern of care that becomes its own language. The images from the end of the night will linger a long time, Cemre leaving the venue with that unmistakable softness in her expression, greeted by cheers from fans held back by barriers, her team forming a familiar protective cocoon around her as she waved and mouthed thank yous. It looked cinematic, yes, but more than that, it looked lived in and true. Before she stepped into the car, a reporter noted that she seemed more open than ever, and she offered a line that felt like a life principle: when you've chosen the right person, hiding becomes unnecessary. Suddenly, the version of Cemre who used to deflect and dodge intimate questions felt like a past self, replaced by a woman comfortable with her joy. We've been following your reactions closely here at Turkish series Stars, and it's clear this couple has claimed a special space in your hearts. That has us thinking about what other love stories you want us to explore with the same care. Should we peel back the layers on Afra Sarıkoglu and Mert Ramazan Demir? Is there a quiet elegance you want us to revisit with Burhan Saat? Tell us whose emotional blueprint you want mapped next. We build our content calendar from your requests because this channel thrives on curiosity we share with you. And since we're at a crossroads in their story, let's not rush the ending. Maybe a proposal has already occurred, tucked into a private moment with no cameras and no headlines. Maybe it's coming soon in a way that will make even the skeptics smile. What we do know is that the groundwork for something enduring is already there. Attention to detail, mutual protection, good humor, and a willingness to be vulnerable. None of those things are purchased by fame. They're built in kitchens and living rooms and cars stuck in traffic, in the quiet choices two people make to remain gentle with each other. To those who felt your own hope flicker while watching Cemre's voice soften and her eyes shine, know this: authenticity is contagious. Seeing a public figure refuse to armor herself, even for a moment, makes the rest of us braver. It reminds us to listen carefully to the ones we love, to celebrate their history, to show up consistently when work is heavy and sleep is scarce. If that's the legacy of that birthday evening, the ripple effect that reaches beyond two people, then what a beautiful gift. As the applause from the premiere fades into memory, one detail keeps resurfacing. The intention behind every element of the surprise. Friends whispered that Gökberk checked dates on the backs of photos so the timeline would be accurate, that he sourced a projector used in art galleries so the images would glow with warmth not glare, that he tasted the desserts himself to make sure the flavors lined up with Cemre's favorites. He was as present in the planning as he is in the relationship, and that consistency is its own declaration. Public gestures can be impressive. Private care is unforgettable. If you've stayed with us through this tender unraveling, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars and turn on notifications so you never miss when we decode the next moment that makes the industry feel human again. Consider becoming a member through the join button if you want early access and bonus breakdowns. It's your support that lets us tell these stories with depth and respect. Before we close, here's one last picture from that red carpet night. Cemre standing just a beat longer than necessary at the edge of the press line, as if listening to a song only she can hear, then glancing toward the distance with a look people carry when they know their safe place is waiting. She gave a small wave, climbed into the car, and disappeared into the city, leaving behind a trail of softened hearts and a question we're happy to wait to have answered. Whether a ring appeared already or is still tucked away for the right minute, the truth is evident. This is a partnership in motion, and it's writing itself beautifully. We'll keep following every gentle turn and every bright milestone. Until our next deep dive, remember what we stand for at Turkish series stars. The headlines may bring you here, but the humanity keeps you with us. Subscribe, comment, share your own stories of feeling truly seen, and tell us which stars deserve a closer look next. Stay romantic, stay curious, and we'll be right here when you're ready for the next chapter.